Hello, hello. I hope everyone is doing well. I hope you don't hear background noises or anything like that. Everybody's outside. It's a beautiful day, which everybody should be. All right, let's just get set up here. See if this works. Good morning, Cordelia. Good morning, LaFrance. Good morning, Beth. I hope everyone is doing well. We are going to be using sentiments from these. So, I had absolutely no idea what I was doing today. Yeah, absolutely. I was going to continue, to be very honest, with the Creep on June and the two albums, but I'm not quite there. So I believe next Sunday we're going to do a Creep on June day. Good morning, Diane. Um, because we're gonna start. I don't know if we're gonna. I think we're gonna start working on some of the days and breaking them down. But I've got to do some prep with it, or else all you're gonna be seeing me is cutting because I want these cut a certain way, and it's not worth it. So if we were all sitting in a room together, different story. But who wants to watch that? You come here to watch some stuff. So, and plus, I have not slept in a very long time. So, be prepared. This could be interesting. Good morning, Jennifer. Welcome. Thank you for being here. Um, so, what we're going to do is I actually, at some point last week, I went through my whole room and all my scraps because I had scraps everywhere. And I finally got them organized. And what I did find, which was a ridiculous storage solution for me, where these are scraps from an album that I did. It's a Graphics 45 collection, and I think it was called the Elegance Collection. Yes, or Delightful. One of those, either Delightful or the Elegance Collection. Um, so I have all of these scraps. So vintage vibe coming out. I pulled out some of my coffee dyed papers. We are going to do some stick as I throw everything across. We are going to do some stamping. I pulled out some of my vintage stamps, specifically with um, images, all in Create. They're getting dangerous for me very much. And even this one, how we're going to color that. And I am finally going to use my Distress watercolor pencils. And we are going to have some fun with those. The sentiments I'm going to be using are from my stamps. So I need a lot of birthday. So I'm going to do some happy birthday, enjoy the moment, and happy everything. We're going to get those all together. And I'm also going to do just a note. I might just do a lot of just the notes. So, because what I'm looking for are also thank you cards. So, whenever there's an order that goes out from my shop, I put in one of my thank you cards. So that is what we're going to kind of do. It doesn't make sense. Good morning, Kelly. I hope you are doing well. So hopefully it just makes sense. Now that also means I need to find, hang on, let's see. You know, there is just no easy way to organize stamps because it would be awesome if we could do it both by sentiments and images. And what I'm realizing that's funny. I have no thank you sentiments. That's funny. Okay. So, well, find one. So let's get started. And maybe I'll get to the sentiments, maybe I won't. Now, I'm going to be using my archival ink. I got my water, all that fun stuff. So let's do some stamping. So I hope everyone is doing well. Like I said, I am extremely tired, but it's all good. Let's get our stamping out of the way. So I'm just going to do a bunch of stamping. We're just going to go to town with it. So, ow, that just hurt. So these are scraps. These are cut-offs from my coffee dye papers that I have. Some of them, they have line work, and I'm okay with the line work. I think it's cool. And I'm just going to do different stamping. And I'll show you how we'll add colors to these. And I think I've got a bunch here. You can make 2 cards with that big tangle stamp. Which one? The wave. I do like big stamps. I know it's not for everybody, but I do. I love big stamps because you can do that. You can stamp it and then cut it in half or cut it in quarters. And no matter how many times you get different looks, but it's not for everyone. I used to love some of the designs that, I wonder if I have to re-ink those. What was it, Colorado, big and bold. They had that line. I loved them. Absolutely loved them. Alright, let's see how this looks. I don't necessarily need perfect. Okay, Diane's singing again. I saw that yesterday. I do. I love big stamps. Yeah, we'll go with that. I'm going to move the ones with the lines out of my way. You just, for me, large stamps, you can get different looks, so it's another way to stretch your supplies. um, which I think is awesome when we can do that. Why does that not... There we go. I also think that way too when it comes to our vintage stamps also. Again, we can do a lot with these. I'm going to get ink all over my hands. It never fails. Alright, let's see here. Give me one of these. Let's see if I can fit 30. Okay, I'm shedding. So, yes. Me and my husband, we went out to dinner last night. And I just had a feeling it was going to be a late night. I'm an early riser anyway. But I figured I'll be okay. Yeah. Not so much. Although I didn't help myself because since I don't sleep and I'm up at a what most would think, okay, an ungodly time frame, that's when I do my grocery shopping as well. Nobody's in there. I'm not getting hit by the cart by other people. You know, that fun stuff. Yeah. I should have did that yesterday instead of, today. So that was fun. And yep, I was hollering at myself the whole way there. But I've been trying to stay away from... I'm watching YouTube, but there's certain videos that I'm staying away from, like the Creep on June. And it's really tough. Although I did watch Tracy's, and I thought it was awesome when she cut right into her book. That was just fantastic when she did that. So I'm sure there was a lot of people screaming. So we are making cards. Good morning, Maddie. We are making cards. I'm using up my scraps from a past album and the paper collection that I have left because I find if I organize and clean, I get my ideas come back to say, oh, I want to do this for a card, or oh, I want to do this. So I had found that for some of my paper collections, oh, we need to stamp that again, that I had a really stupid way of how I was organizing those papers left over from an album, a scrapbook album. So I got all of them put together. We'll go with that. um, into my individual scraps, and I have them organized by size again, which is what works for me, because some of those bigger pieces I can put them in my journals, and then I found this whole set, and I'm like, oh, well, let's do this. And I figured that out a half an hour before I turned the live on. You know, I can never get these back in place. I'm just saying. There we go. So we are just stamping first. I'm also going to be using watercolor pencils. I had them, and I have not used them, and I want to use them. So I want to play with them. And I just picked out 3 different stamp sets. So making thank you cards, because I need more. Some of these are really big. Obnoxious sound. Hang on. Wow. Okay. Sorry about that. So here's some big stamps. We'll put that one off to the side. I really like that one. Now, do I have... I do not. Oh well. So we're just going to have fun creating our backgrounds. I need to put all of this back in. I heard yous. So we're just playing today. A very sticky stamp. That's why I'm using my archival ink. Oh yeah, gotta do that again. Oh, let's see if this works. So, stamping on coffee dyed paper, it can be done, just like I'm showing here. But you just need to remember that you may not get perfect results because the coffee dyed paper, unless it's ironed, and I do not iron coffee dyed paper. I want it to have those characteristics. I want it to have those differences, the hills and the valleys and the skipped areas. I am not liking how this is stamping. So we're going to switch and pivot. And we'll see how this comes, because I still want to watercolor on this. And I know with VersaFine you can watercolor. Oh yeah, there we go. So that's what we'll do. Good. I really didn't feel like embossing today. We'll just do one of those. So I really want to pull in the larger one. and now I can't find. Wow. Really? Hang on. Found it. So what are you guys working on today? Anything? Or are we just going to enjoy the day? Hello, Gwen. Hello, Christy. Hello, Jill and John. Hopefully I'm not missing anybody. So for those of you just coming in, we are making cards. We're having fun just stamping. Ooh. That was a large one. Maybe if I prep this one better. We're using our scraps. I don't know why I'm being specific with that stamp. Yes. Yes, 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 Diane. So, Tracy Fox's Etsy store is called Love Junk Journals. Yes, yes. Oh my goodness, 7 years ago. Wow, have I been on it? Yeah, I have. Yes, I started. Is that no? I started in August of 2017. So that's how I prep, or I'll sit here and pet. My stamp. The strange things that we do. Hello, Christy. Oh, nice. Crafting all day. I'm going to do a lot of crafting today. I do want to get to the Creep on June, so we're going to do that next Sunday. We're going to get back to that. And then I think I'll do a separate video for the Games of Creep. I think it's funny. And I think that's enough. Yeah, that's enough stamping. I kind of got sidetracked on, I got all the pieces together for the Creep on June, and then I got sidetracked for the community projects. So, and I was just like on a roll. So I think they're fun projects. Alrighty. Oh. Alright, let's get those out of my way. No one fell. I'm just putting stuff on the floor so that I can get it out of my way. See, we're fine. See? Things just get moved. so that we can keep going. Okay, so coffee dye paper. When you can, I don't recommend watercoloring directly onto the coffee dyed paper, because coffee dye it's changed its structure, I guess is what you call it. I don't know, that's not a technical term. But we can take um, our watercolor pencils, or in this case the distress pencils, and add to it, because we won't be adding a lot of water. So that is what we're going to do. But no thought, no rhyme, no reason. We're just putting color down. We are not being precise in any way. Just get your colors down. Who doesn't like to scribble? Scribbling is just awesome. But we can add more colors to our images, even when they're just words. You want to make sure that you're getting your water out of your brush. I'm just using a mop, and then I just want to go over this. Just to get it moving. And we're just adding a little bit of aging to that. I'm going to let that side dry. Get that out of my way because it's already annoying me. And then we want to add some of course we're going to add some speckled egg, and I'm just going to put that along the edge. So barely seen when it comes to the words, but it's there. I want weathered wood for this one. So when you have a sentiment like this, you're just accenting some of the highlights from the verbiage. Just to give it some color. So, and you can see as that's drying, you've got the speckled egg there. We've added a little bit darker there. We'll be tearing these apart. And that's all we are doing on those. Now, I think I had another one. Yes, I did. You can even, you don't have to use vintage photo. I know, amazing, but I did have to start out with vintage photo, of course. See, that's brick. Gotta have aged mahogany. So that. I'm looking at the comments, making sure I'm not missing anything. don't want to do this on other ones. I had too much water on the brush. That's okay. And then I do want to come in with a pink on this one. And the only reason why I'm putting water on that is to just smooth it out. And you can see it'll go, even your stamping will go to the other side as well. So again, just hints of color of what we're adding. Okay. Yeah, well, purple's got to come in. Where is... Didn't they do Villainous Potion? Found it. Now, these, you can't work these like you can with watercolor paper. Because they won't take much water. See, it's not like you can blend, but if you start out from one side and just swoosh, technical term, you can get those colors to move. So just little bits. Nope, don't want that one. Salt water, and this one. So even though what's great with rubber stamps, at least I think what's great with rubber stamps, is they'll show you the shadows. And I don't know, is that... we're going to make it one. I think I just went over a leaf, but that's okay. So if you're starting out coloring, stamps with a lot of etching are a great way to go. And again, depending upon how much color you put down, will depend how bright it gets. I have the feeling these are going to go all over the place. The paint, moss. I am not being particular here. I am just getting the color down, scribbling, and then getting a dark shade down as well. It'll have some blend to it, but not much. And then just go from your dark up into your light. I'm also not worried about if I stay in the lines. I just want to get it activated. So see, they just add just a hint of color onto your background. Nothing too fancy. Why I have the greens out? So anyway, yeah, I'm trying to stay away from all of the wonderful videos. I love the fact that Tracy gives a list of everyone that's part of it, part of her collaboration. So I've already subscribed to them all. And then I'll be able to go back and watch. So I think those are those three there. So we can just have fun with the colors. We can also just let them like this, and if we want, just put a wash over it. So if we choose just a simple color of a wash. No, I don't want dried marigold. Again, you can just scribble right over the image. And then just add water to it. And that's going to add color to it too. I would suggest doing that with soft colors, nothing too bright or too dark. We could try, let's see here, this is Worn lipstick. See what that looks like. Sorry. Let's try peacock feathers. It's kind of bold, but let's try it. All right, we'll set that one aside. So again, just hints of colors on top of those stamped images. They don't always have to be exact. Well, these here, I'm feeling something different. All right, let's have some fun with the circles. I'm just going to add different shades of blue. And see how this works. And we're adding a lot of A lot of shade. We're just going to town with the color. I do wish I remembered where I went with some of these. I don't know. Where is... Oh, found it. Have to have Uncharted Mariner here somewhere. And we use saltwater taffy. So really pulling out the colors here. So do I like to color more than Biddy? You know, I don't know. I think we both like to color. I just think we have different ways of doing it, if that makes sense. I do, my favorite medium are colored pencils. And watercolors. I almost did a whole watercoloring today. I am. But that's something I want to do that just a little bit differently. I was bad. I was doing so good on a no buy, and one of my favorite brands of watercolor is Mission Gold. And the type of watercolors I like are granulating. Oh God, I love Mariner, Uncharted Mariner. That color is just to die for. All right, we're gonna set that aside and let that dry. Yeah, Uncharted Mariner is gonna come back into this one. So I think we just have different styles. I'll go into, I'll work on a project with colored pencils, and they do take longer. But I also believe that coloring does not have to be difficult. We can simplify it and still get beautiful results. You also do not need to have top of the line materials. And I'll show you what I mean by that. So this is a card that's going to come out. I'm not sure if it's this week or in 2 weeks. This is watercolor with colored pencils. Colored pencils just add a little bit more of the shadows. Would you guys believe that those are Crayolas? Yep, Crayolas. So you can get beautiful, beautiful results. Um, they're going to be slightly different. I mean, I'm not gonna kid or make up something. Um, but I want ground espresso. But you can still get beautiful results. Now, and again, do I have other watercolors than Crayolas? Yes, I do. I mean, I'm not going to kid you on that. But I got those over time. So anyway, I was doing so well on my no-buy. I was doing awesome. I was surprising myself. Absolutely surprising myself. Then Mission Gold did what they did. And I'm like, really, guys? And I think that was one of the last things that I did buy. So I did do a splurge this year in watercolors, but I have no need now to get anything else. I was tempted to write Mission Gold and say, please stop. Low buy, that's okay. I mean, at least we're you're keeping it down. Again, and when it came to that card, and yes, Gwen, you'll see all the coloring's going to be in there. Yep, Crayolas. I really do love Crayola watercolors. Now, when they dry, if you have a lot of, that pigment down, you could get a shiny effect. Okay, so it's shiny. Cool. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But I do. I think Crayolas are great for someone who wants to test the waters with watercolors because the best part, or what I really enjoy with watercolors, is seeing all the different colors and palettes that you can create. To me, that's the fun in watercolors. And when you limit yourself to just the 8, I mean, they have a 16 too, but limit yourself just to the 8, you can practice your mixing. Now watercolors make it really easy to just buy every color that you would want. And that I mean, there's convenience colors that are awesome, but I like to take those convenience colors and mix those in. My favorite convenience color is, I love the Phalos and Opera Rose. Mixing Opera Rose with other colors is amazing. All right, now, what color do I want to do my butterfly on that one? I don't know. I don't want to do a purple. How about a coral? What do you think? Well, now, Beth, don't say you're not good. Keep working. I know you're good because you started. That's that's what's most important. You started. If we don't start, how do we know? Okay, so that's that one. We can just swirl. And the paper's gonna get more wrinkly too because we're wetting paper. All right, so let's look. Well, now that's the fastest I've ever worked. So these are our pieces. So these are the ones that, you can still see the scribbles, but we moved the color. So I really kind of like these. I think they're cool. This one here kind of did the same thing on this one. Just added colors, different swirls, leaving these alone. I've got a double print on this, so your eyes are not failing you. And then we've got these where we added the color and then just moved it around. And then we have our sentiments where we added our color. And I do like the squiggles. You can see the scribbles. Squiggles, scribbles, and all of that. Alright, I thought I was going to have to do that. Alright, let's work on our bases. Now, you guys know, if you've been here for a while, I love to work on, I'm going to move these crayons because if I don't, they are right on the edge of my table. Those I won't throw. Be right back. Okay. Let's get those there. I like to work on bases. Now I have some odd shaped cards here, so I think this is a 5 by 5. Yes, I've got 5 by 5 bases, and I think this is a 5 by 6.5. Yes. So odd. I am using up, I found so many card bases from AC Moore, so we are going to use them up. I'm using all of the scraps that I have, and I do love to work on a base. Whoops. To just create the base. And I keep all of my neutrals together. I don't know how many cards we'll get through, but it'll be fun to see if I get through all of these. Let's see, is that... Oh, so close. But... take a ½ inch off that. Let's see if it works. I will go straight down onto a card base. But for some reason, it's really not my go-to. I don't know why. Yeah, we all have different ways of creating Um, it's just something I don't gravitate to. I think because I can do more on the base to see how far I can get that. And then if I need to change the base, I can do that if I have to. All right, so if I want that to be 6 1/4, we'll just cut those down. Then I can change it up. And they're pretty flimsy, those bases. Yeah, cut that one wrong. So by doing this, at least I'm adding a little bit more strength to the card bases. All right. These go back in the pile. And if that's 6 1/2, I gotta mark this because I can't. I just cannot count today. And who knew? I actually do have a mark on my thing here. Oy vey. Oh, okay. Alright. Base is done. Yes, bases are going to be in black. I thought it was a good accent color. Let's see, any questions? It very much is, Maddie. Very fugitive opera rose. Yes. But I absolutely love it. And when you mix like opera rose with the rose madder, oh, the colors you get. And when you mix it with an orange or a yellow, it's oh, the colors are just magnificent. Absolutely magnificent. And then I have these. All right. And we are just going to slap, not literally, but we are just going to put papers down. Because we can. We can let the black shine through. We can cross them over. We can have our background be very, how do I want to say, dark-ish. If we want it to be. Because we've got the images that we're pulling in from our cards. And you can see I'm weaving. I want to weave the papers. So we're just going to have these touches in the background. so that when we come in with, that is so too small. Gotta try these a little bit. Sorry for that obnoxious noise. Oh, there we go. Now we're there now. Yes, Gwen, Maddie, yeah, I am not going, again, I'm not going to pull punches. And believe it or not, you know, I love doing YouTube. I'll always do YouTube. But again, my medium of choice are colored pencils. I love colored pencils. I've been working with colored pencils since I was in grade school. Decades ago. Oh, yes. Decades ago. They take time, but I absolutely love them. And yes, I have a collection of them. Not going to lie. And I've been, you know, it's funny when you say, yes, I'm addicted to these. I have collections of these. Oh, the wonderful comments I got of bragging and everything else. And that's so not me. But I do. I've got different types. And I do the same with watercolors. I am loving watercolors just as much. They're just under my colored pencils. And it's funny, Maddie, with the list that you gave, yeah, I have the QORs. They are awesome. I love the QORs. Watercolors. And it's just, you know, you just keep going and going. So see, we can do that. Very simple. And I won't remember what this looks like. So we're going to see what this does. So let's get these two down first. But I have QORs. I have my Mission Gold. I do very much enjoy Mission Gold. I have a few Daniel Smith. And believe it or not, dare I say, I'm really not a fan. I mean, they're great. They're wonderful quality, absolutely. Um, but I don't know. I'm more comfortable, I guess, with my Mission Golds. The QORs. Oh, I like that better. I also like my Lucas. I forget Lucas, and then there's like a year that comes after it. Yeah, I wanted to get that in there. That's okay because I can do that. And do that. Perfect. Oh, and I like that one better. So, yeah. You know, we collect things. When we find that we like something, I mean, look at our stamp collection. Yeah, right? We have a stamp collection. I just wish, you know, I got to, yeah, florals, vintage, so that we didn't have everything else going on. And then we can just put that right there. And I let it stay wrinkly. Paul Rubens, yes, Maddie, they are nice, very nice. Um, and yeah, Maddie, I mean, I don't need um, any other pencils. So that's our first one. Yay! Um, I do not need any more colored pencils. I mean, don't get me wrong, there is a set that I would love to have, but I'm saving up for it. Yeah, awesome, right? Me and Tara Furlers do not get along. We really don't. Uh, and same thing with colored pencils. I actually donated a lot of the sets that I had to a local Boys and Girls Club, and they were ecstatic. All right, so that's the one we're going to work on now. Do we? um, I don't think we need. We do not need an intervention. This one I think I'm going to add ink. You know, we enjoy, and we enjoy the craft. We enjoy playing with our paper. It is the best medium for everything. There's so much we can do with it. We can be neat. We can be messy. And it doesn't matter if I'm a firm believer that it doesn't matter if everyone has the same supplies. Your cards will be different. That's just a fact, because we will interpret differently. I tend to go, you know, dark and deep with things. You know, when I'm tangling, I'm heavy-handed with the shading, the graphite. Um, I like the drama tangles and the botanical tangles. it's things that we gravitate, where somebody else who tangles may only like the um, geometric or all the line work. Again, it all depends on what you're doing, what you're looking at, how it's going to work, how you want it to work. And I think that's what makes it fun. And then I think it's not until we realize, okay, you know what, we got enough going on here. this this is what I'm into, this is what I enjoy. And that's when we can say, okay, enough of that. We don't need to do all of this again. We find what, oh, I don't want to lose that. We can find what we're, I don't want to say addicted to, but what we enjoy. All right, let's see if I can remember this. Just I don't know. I'm feeling a little blizzard coming in. Just a little one. Just a little one at the end. I think this one was next. Dawn! Hello! Baba, hello! Oh, babe. So you're on a no-buy, except for my stamps and glue. I feel honored I'm with glue. I did start designing the new set. I've got some ideas. So hopefully my ideas come out. So do I want to do... Oh, I want to do that. Well, I am honored that you are not doing a no-buy for my stamps. It's very flattering. Very much so. Get down there. And we'll put that one there. I don't want to put that in the center. Ah. Oh, Dawn, you're getting blamed for something. Yeah, Dawn, you got blamed for that. Yep, that's why that's why she's spending. Yeah. Way to go, Dawn. Way to go. Oh, I forgot to put that up there. Okay, well, you know what? Why can't we? Nothing says we can't do that. Okay, layers. Gotta love layers. Mm-mm-mm. Now, this one. She is so big. But I really like her. What's cool in the coffee dyed too, you can see it pushed the coffee. Flo, good morning. So we are just making cards for those of you that just got here, and that one's large too. Okay, so we'll save those for last. What do you think? I already did those two. Let's do these. Let's see if I can tear down. Yeah, look at that. And let's work with this one. All right. I do save these. It's bad. Matter of fact, I think I'm going to go right down there. All right, let's get these inked. And then we can work on all three at once. We are on a roll. All right, so we're an hour and 20 minutes in. So, yeah, I've been pretty impressed. The only things that I have to get are papers, and papers mainly to print for journals. Those are the only things, or copy paper. Those are the only things that I will still purchase. Oh, okay. Let's go with that. Where are small pieces? See, I keep all strips. All right, hate to do it. Gotta cut a butterfly in here. Oh. You can have, oh no, butterfly's gotta go. Alright. I like that one too. See, I even keep these. We are amazing creatures when it comes to our papers, right? We keep everything. And see, I don't always have to tear paper. There's nothing like a black background. Good morning, Anthony. I'm looking at the comments, making sure. Oh, oh my, Beth. Okay. All right. Wow. Ah. Of course, Ave. Yes, I am making, I'm in the process. I just started the design um, for the winter and fall for the stamps. Yes. That one to go all the way across. Ah. I want that one to get cut down. I don't think I'm straight on this card base, but that's okay. And I think I just, yes I did, no I didn't. I thought I just got that sentiment. Oh. Let's see here, we'll get this last one down in here. I want that one to kind of be in the center. So yeah, black as a background, it's awesome. It just makes everything pop. Just pops. And I want vintage photo on that. I did. Um, I did used to get the Hero Arts kit back when I first started my channel. Um, I'm still looking for a card kit besides Simon Says where yes, I am going to put this on at an angle. Um, because I like the challenge of a card kit to come up with 3 or 5 different ways to use it. Okay, that's our next one. I'll show all of these again. Promise, promise. Um, but there was, and it was a great kit. Um, it was a very good kit. My issue, um, just like with, you'll always have, excuse me, and um, you know what I want to try? Let's try something new. You always run the risk when it comes to a kit of you're not going to like what you get. That's the whole point of a kit. You don't know what's in it. You do have, with some of them, the ability to not, so you can skip it. I don't know if I'm going to be doing this right, but we're going to do it anyway. We're going to try this. But there was one of the kits, and I don't know if any of you saw it. It had like a Oasis Sahara theme. Oops. Oops. And it was very pretty. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that. But I could not, for the life of me, come up with any ideas for the kit. I went totally blank. I was having an issue with the stamps to come up with images. So what I ended up doing was literally doing, because back then I was doing 10 cards, 1 kit. So what I ended up doing was 10 backgrounds. And then just added sentiments to them. Yep. That's what I did. Because I just couldn't, and I was extremely apologetic. Good morning, Lynn. And yeah, after that, I'm just like, okay, I can't. You all are wondering what I'm doing. Well, we're just tearing up paper, and we're just going to create a different kind of theme. We're going to curl these up. And hopefully I don't destroy the frame that I have, because of course this isn't 110-pound paper. But yeah, after that, I'm like, okay, I can't, I don't know if I just lost my inspiration for that card kit. But yeah, it was bad. It, I felt so bad after that one. But, you know, I had fun. I'm going to get these started to curl. I want them to curl. You know, don't you wish paper had like hairspray? Oh, just kidding. Well, maybe not. Because this would be like better if I could like get these to stay down. Alright, so we'll have them at different angles. And I need an eraser because I don't want my pencil line showing. And if it is, then I'll just cover it up with some paper. Let's see what this does. This is new. So if anyone just joined, all I did was I put my focal point down. I drew a wiggly pencil line around it. And then I just cut an X into it. Yes, this adds dimension to your card. Absolutely. It does. But we can squish it just a little bit. I want them to be crooked. You know, it's no different than, you know, if this goes through the mail and it gets a little flat, it's okay. Good morning, Teresa. Okay, so we've got that. I'm going to shift that down. I'm going to close my craft knife before I cut myself. Okay. Oh, Anthony, remember what I've said. Should do it in sections. When you do a complete reset. But good for you. It's very freeing. Alright, so now I'm going to get glue on this. Sorry for the scratching. Okay. And we'll get this on here. We'll lift up. We'll clean the glue. And this one, I think, we're going. Uh-oh. Yeah, lots of glue. Lots of glue. Okay. And then this, we will be able to tuck that in, just like that. So let's get that in there as well. You're all probably sitting there saying, Des, why didn't you put that in there first? Because I didn't know where it was going to go. And I think I actually want this to go down here. And I want this to go up there. Yes, okay. So this will be fun. Dawn, I'm not sure if, I don't know if it's a monthly kit. I don't know if Paper Rose, if it's a monthly subscription. But I do know that with the stash, and I do want this to be crinkly. So isn't this like one of these punch um, boxes? Okay, now let's, so see these little bits. When you think you can't use them, you can. So we have that. I don't want to lose that. That poor piece just keeps going all over the place. Now, yes. Um, I did do tonic as well. Um, but yeah, I've also, they kind of, I just lost um, interest. I don't want to say interest. It's the wrong word. Interest. It's not. It's not what I lost. It was. I just wasn't inspired. Maybe that's the word I'm looking for. Um, maybe kind of, sort of. I don't know. So now I'm just using some of these smaller pieces and just putting these in the corners. And getting those down to the edges, still having a torn edge, so to speak, and trying to find more of the strips that I thought I had that obviously I don't. Oh no, I don't want that one. Oh no, already did that one. That's just black. It's too dark. We can take this one, go across the top. Tuck that one up in there. Trim that off. So yeah, it's, and I keep going back to the Simon Says. And I had that one for a while. I did get that one for a long time. Oh, now this one would be fun. All right, let's see if I can do this. Okay. And then I want to go down like this. And up. And then boop. Woohoo! See, tearing paper is awesome. Let's see. Ave, yes, I am loving what Paper Rose is doing with their pattern paper collections. Um, which, yeah, makes it really tough when you're in a no-buy. I just keep looking at all of the ones that I have. That's all I keep doing. Okay. Now we can glue these down, and okay, let's put some glue down and get them to stick. I don't know how well they'll stick. Really have to hold them down. Because they really do just want to pop right up. So, well, this was fun. Oh, that one I liked. I like this one. Pattern papers are my weakness as well. Because I either want to do a journal or I want to do scrapbook album or I want to do a collection of albums. Oh. Or if it's a 6x6 paper pad, I want to do simplicity and just have fun cutting it up. But now, don't you pop back up. Get. So yeah. I'm with it. Why do you not want to stay down? I will win. There we go. Let me get that in there. Ha ha. When I gutted my room, I did a huge de-stash. See, there you go, Anthony. Yeah, just don't need a trimmer. Don't need to measure. I usually only measure card base if I'm going to have a panel with that. All right, let's do, I'm going to hold off on this one. I really want to do this one, but I need a bigger card base on that one. Oh, good. I'm so glad I'm giving you an idea there, Gwen. When I gutted my room, it was scary. It really it really was. I'm just gonna get some of this stuff off my desk here. Because everything literally came out of the room. And I know I've talked about this story before. So I had taken days off work. I'm going to repeat. I had taken days off of work, and I took, and it was right around Labor Day. It was Labor Day weekend. So we even had a holiday in there. And, okay, now I can't find the top to my glue bottle. Found it. So I figured, okay, I've got that extra day. Um, yeah. Um, so I took like another 3.5, 4 days off, thinking, okay, once everything goes in, I can because it was new furniture that I was putting in the room, and I thought, okay, the moment that I can get the furniture in, it won't take me long to get everything back into the room. Mm-hmm. Yeah. As always, it was quicker to remove than it was to put back in. Now, when I was removing things, I was going through everything. I was going through the papers. I was going through, all the stuff I had and saying, okay, I haven't used this. Or if I came out and said, oh, wait a minute, I forgot I had these. Okay, these need to go here so that I knew about them. So it all depended on how I reacted to okay, Harley motorcycles going by. Feel the vibration. That was an awesome sound. Um, but then there was some stuff where it's like, I literally looked at it and said, okay, why did I buy this? Or I would look at it and say, why did I buy 10 of these? Yeah. Um, there was a lot of that. Why did I buy? And the reason why I did is because I couldn't find the original ones because they got buried somewhere. But I needed it, so I had to buy more of it. Yeah. Just saying. All right. Hang on. I need to get larger space. Okay. No. All right. Do I have a piece? Oh. Yay. All right. So we're just going to do a rough measurement. Um. So I don't think that I will have to buy glue for some time unless it all dries up. Yeah. So going through and using the glue. There was either a sale going on, um, there was something when it came to glue. Now some of it, because glue will go bad. So I think I was under the impression, oh, this is on sale, let's stock up. Yeah, don't do that. It's just a waste. Makes me cry just thinking about it. But even though it's sealed up, it will harden up. So that's what I did. So as I removed things, I looked at it and said, okay, we need to move this, move this. Then when things came back in, I did it again. I did another purge and relook to say, okay, am I truly going to use this? Am I truly going to use this? I'm going to use my threader thingy. And again, this is just a thread cutter. You can do this with scissors. I, however, am a klutz. So therefore, my thank you cards do not need to have blood, sweat, and the tears from cutting myself. So this is, and again, it's simply a thread cutter. You can get, they're usually in metal. That's all this is. And the more you dig, the more it's going to cut. And it worked. What it also told me is, wow. And I did say there should be a support group for me. Lots of stuff. Lots and lots of stuff. Alright, I'm going to glue that down, but I'm only going to put glue in the center because I do want it to curl up. So, yeah, soon you'll be seeing, okay, she's never used that glue before. There's a reason. Alright, now this is, of course, that's right, we're gonna distress that up. And that's actually going to sit over there. Got a lot of blue going on here. So I think I'm going to stick with these different shades of black designs, except the complete black design. No. There it is. And that's 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's go. Where are my scissors? Now I'm going to trim these down, so don't stress. Because if that sits there, that's going to get covered up. So I can almost cut that in half. Let's get that one glued down. What I did find, though, as I was continuing to do that, is it was taking a lot longer than expected. Oh, look at that. I cut that the same exact side out of here. Wow. Alright, now this one does need to be cut here. I only got to about a quarter of the way completed after my days off. I'm just saying. It's just... So it's very tedious, but extremely rewarding, believe it or not. And you'll find that you'll keep doing it. I'm still organizing areas and getting things to where they should, so like items being with like items. And for me, that is how if I'm in a funk, I can't come up with any ideas, or I don't know what I want to work on next. That's usually the case recently. Then I'm cranking this up. I want it to have the wrinkles. And that's another way that you can add dimension. I'll organize. I'll organize something. And try to do that, and then as I'm organizing it, I'll come up with, hey, let's do this. And as funny as it sounds, that's what I literally did when it came to the idea for the, I know I had scraps here. Here we go. For the level 2 group in Podia, I was cleaning up an area and I'm like, oh, but why can't we do that? And we're going to be doing it. It's kind of cool. So that's how I get going, so to speak. But it's rewarding. It does make you feel good. But just be prepared. It is overwhelming. I got overwhelmed very quickly. Very, very quickly. I'm just adding bits of pink here so that it pops. So that it kind of comes up again. Or wakes up, so to speak. Because it's a lot of dark going on there. And again, these are going to be thank you cards when someone makes a purchase. Oh, I want that. And then, I'm going to cut all that off. Yeah, I know. And then we'll get our cards on. I'll do the big swipe off my table here. Alright, so what one loves is made. Beautiful. Oh, hello. Alright, well, we're just going to add to you. Yeah, we're just going to color that in because we can. And I think I'm just going to round that off. Round that off just a little bit. Cut off that beat. And we're going to do that. Okay. And have fun with your papers. And then we can take that and we're going to put that there. And then to make these stand out, again, we can scribble, add some lines, make them stand out so that they could go back into the background. So see that one, I went right onto the card base and I didn't put the card on upside down. All right, so let's see what we created. And I'm going to, oh, don't want that to go there. And let's see here. Can we do this without causing a large crash? Yes, we can. Oh. All right. Those are going to go up there. Those are going to go there. These will come here. Going to get these onto our card bases. And yes, I feel a little bit of isn't anyone here in winter? Anyone? Anyone? Oh. Okay. So we've got this one. This one I think goes on this one. Yes. So anyway, Anthony, I will be with you in spirit. Again, when you're doing something like that, it's awesome. It's a reset. It's an awesome reset. It really gets you going, but it can be extremely overwhelming. So just take your time with it. Did I put that? No. Just take your time with it. And let's see, we've got one more like that. And then I do find myself picking a spot every month to revisit it. Um, and I'm finding that spot is the stamps. So here, I am actually putting the stuff away. I'm not just pushing it off. You know, when I moved, it's funny you said that, Flo. You might have to move in the hotel. I thought that as I was moving stuff out, that I was going to be contained in our dining room, and or mainly the spare room. I saw quickly that that was not going to work. So I said, okay, let's do the dining room. I can put it underneath the tables. We're not using the dining room, or anything like that. Yeah. Okay. We're going to file that away because I keep those. I ended up going into completely filling the dining room, and I have been told I know how to pack. I have things under the table, along the side, on the chairs. Mm. I'm going to use my picket fence because it's quick. No, you know what? No, I'm not. I'm going to use, please tell me this, yes, titanium white. I took over the dining room, the spare bedroom. What else? We have a sunroom that comes off the back of our house. I took half of that, and I took a quarter of our bedroom. It was bad. It was really, really bad. And my husband would just keep looking at it, going, "Really, hon?" Like, yeah, yep. So whenever I do splatters, you want to make sure that you have not a thick consistency, but like a heavy cream. That makes sense? That, for me, works, and they don't go all over the place, because my crime scene is with white little dots all over. And we're just going to take care of these one at a time. And then I can let y'all go. I'm good with big splatters, little splatters. I just love splatters. And for these, there's no what's enough, what's not enough. There's just remember that when you put your splatters over any type of, see, I'm still getting it all over the place because I'm not far enough in. On anything that's water reactive, it will change. This I'm going to try to keep off to the side, but I do want some of it to hit the inside of our frame. And this extra white, in case anyone is concerned, that goes to waste. It does not. I pour it into a container and I use it, and then that's what keeps it good for next time. So I do use it up because I do splatter. I love splatter. And I splatter with everything. I even splatter with water. Yes. So those are the cards. Like I said, next batch of thank you cards. We got through 5. Well, look at that. Yes, Maddie, I am too. You give me an inch and I will fill it up with a yard of stuff. Whenever we go away, if I have to pack, my husband packs up, I unpack it and repack, and we've got room for more. So, yeah, the people at the grocery store are amazed because I check myself out. They're like, "You really do?" I said, "I do. I can just, everything just goes together." Yeah, it's a gift. I believe it's a gift. Oh my goodness. Ouch. Now, Maddie, what do you mean you have no flair for collage? Meaning you don't, it's not your cup of tea? It's not something you enjoy? That card is meant for if you Google Mendoza Argentine content referred right through, it's just like your last card. Really? Like that? Okay. Well, as I said, these are thank you cards for when somebody either buys something out of the shop. Now, usually when somebody purchases a journal, I make a journal or scrapbook. I make a card based off of what those papers are. So I try to keep cards like this around, or when I use the stamps, all of those. I had to make more. Thank you so much, guys. With the recent release, all those cards that I had made for the showcase um, when we launched, and those that I made in the couple lives, those went out as my thank yous. Love the look of collage, but mine turned out like a hot mess. You know, somehow, Maddie, I don't believe that. I really don't. I mean, this. Hello. Hello. Just layer your papers up. It's, you know, and I think what it is, I'm sure it does not look like a hot mess. Collage, again, just like with everything, collage is not for everyone. All right? It's not something that you enjoy to do. You're going towards watercolors, you're going towards this, and that's okay. That is absolutely okay. Maybe your collage needs to be on a smaller scale. Maybe it just has to be different. Maybe you watercolor pieces and those you collage. You may like those, Maddie, if you take your scraps and just put watercolor on them, let them dry. Now you've got all of these tiles that you can just put together and they're watercolored. So look at the different ways that you can you can put that together. It's just another way to look at it, because anything, it doesn't have to be pattern paper that needs to be collaged. It can be anything that you enjoy, um, when it comes to your pieces. For me, collage comes together when you've either got stamping on it, or whether you've got splatters going on it, or anything like that. Um, Anything going on. So these, I'm going to let these dry. So these will go into my pile. As I said, these are my thank you cards. So I really don't have to put thank you on them. They can just be the way that they are. But we can take our stamps, add it to our scraps, add a little bit of color to them. And these could be those big stamps if you do like to journal and you've collected these types of stamps, these vintage style stamps, or maybe they're not vintage style, they're just large stamps. You can do this, add a little bit of color to it, whether by colored pencils, watercolors, watercolor, whatever you use, your inks, use those as watercolor, and then just make them a focal point on top of your collage papers. And you kind of got this whole theme that's going on here. Okay? For those of you in my community, thank you, thank you, thank you. I hope you're enjoying what's going on in there. For those of you that may not know, yes, I have a community. There's 2 levels. First level is free. So I hope to see you there. I will have the link down below. Um, After we go live, give me a couple minutes. Got to take this picture and then get it uploaded and do all that fun stuff. This month, for June, we are doing a deep dive into the concept of a masterboard. And it could be scary because you're getting into my mind. I'm talking all about it. So I don't know if that's a good thing. Some people may think that's a scary thing. You never know. For We also started our single Zen. Let me grab the other one there. Zen Tangle series, and we started with Crescent Moon. So to have that, so that has started. Yes, I do have a paid level as well, and that project, we are featuring paper bags. Yep, lunch paper bags. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Yeah, because I was cleaning that area in my room. I didn't know what to do for June. And I came across this huge stack saying, oh my, did not realize I had all this. So let's use them up. Totally different way than what I've already seen. So again, we have that. And very soon, also in the paid, we will be going through tangled tiles, different ways to work a tangle, working on different papers and everything else. So that is starting soon as well. So that is what's going on there. Like I said, you will see this card along with a set of cards, but believe it or not, guys, these are Crayola watercolors. Yep, Crayola. They are awesome. Everything. And then I added just a darker color pencil in the crease here for these flowers. So stay tuned for that. If you're curious about watercolors, it's a great place to start when it comes to that. Next Sunday, I will be live again. That one, be prepared. That one might be kind of, sort of, a longer video. Although if I keep gabbing, this one's going to be long too. Because we're going to do some of the dailies in Creep on June. I just need it to get to a certain point, and I have an idea, and I need to just make sure that I can do it with each of the pieces, and I need to get all of the cutting done so that you can see what we're doing with that. So yeah, next Sunday, Creep on June, we're going to continue with that. And then there should be a video with the Creep on June for the Games of Creep album that I am creating. All right. Guys, have a wonderful week. Enjoy. Always continue to stay safe and healthy. Remember, I am just an email, smoke signal, or whatever away if you have any questions. If you're in the community, you can ask me questions there, and I'll get back to you through there as well. When are you starting the master boards? I need to gather stuff for that project. So they are, Anthony, they are about to launch. But remember, if you're a member of the community, no matter which level, you will always have access to all of the past, previous videos that have been aired, and as you continue forward. So the both projects for both levels are going to launch this week. All right. Um, I forget which one. I think one's Wednesday and the other one's the following weekend. So yeah, they're starting to come out this week, and then they'll continue throughout. Because I try to group a bunch together, and then I just keep adding to that post, or I add another one with the title for the month when it comes to that. So yeah, June this week you will see them getting posted in the communities for their respective projects. Oh, hello, Heather. Oh, you snuck in. I'm so sorry I missed you. My goodness. But again, thank you so much for stopping by. I'm so glad you were here. I hope with my rambles, because that's what it was, because I am tired. I need another cup of coffee. I think I'm going to go sit down for a little bit, see if I can take a nap, and then get back to it. I hope you had fun with this. I hope you'll give this a try. Just have fun with it. Have fun with your stamps and adding color. And then until next time, I will talk to you. Take care, guys, and thank you so much for being here. Love y'all. Take care.